Hello everyone, welcome to my class. In this video, I'll be starting with the second chapter of class 9th history, that is Socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. Now, to start with the chapter, first thing that you see in this topic, in this chapter, two new terms, that is socialism and the Russian Revolution. The entire chapter deals with the two things. So we'll be trying to understand what is socialism and how the socialism came in Europe, how it became one of the popular ideology of the time, and we'll talk about the Russian Revolution and how Russia became the first socialist nation. Now, before we start this, let's try to understand the background of the emergence of socialism. So I'll be relating it with the French Revolution. First of all, all of you are aware of French Revolution. You have studied in chapter 1. Now, talking about the French Revolution is a very important event in the history of mankind, because during the time of French Revolution, many new ideas emerged, and liberty, equality, justice, fraternity, and all these ideas became the base for the modern concept of democracy. It not only inspired the people in Europe, but it inspired the people across the world, and people started admiring these ideas because somewhere they wanted to be free from their rulers, right? So all these things were going well, but when Napoleon Bonaparte was defeated, he was defeated by the combined forces of four nations. So when he was defeated, after his defeat, again these winner nations wanted to establish monarchical rule, right? So after defeat of Napoleon, once again in Europe, the monarchical rule was established in France and in entire Europe, right? Because those who have defeated the Napoleon, they were monarchs, and they wanted their rule to be established. Once again, there will be no threat like Napoleon in future, so they wanted to dominate the society. So this happened. So Europe was undergoing through a change, where once again the entire Europe was ruled by such monarchs, different monarchs, right? And people under these monarchs, they were not happy. So they wanted to bring a change in the society. They wanted to end the monarchical rule. So when you study about the Europe and socialism, then you will come across, throughout this chapter, you'll come across some new words. This was the time when people were having different ideologies, what change they wanted. So first of all, we'll try to understand these words, and this is very important, because when you use these words in your answers, then you should know their meaning, their ideologies. So let's start the topic. There were a group of liberals, and these liberals wanted a religious tolerance. They wanted to overthrow the monarchy and government by the people. They wanted to form the government by the people. But they were still not in favor that the voting rights should be given to all. They just wanted that it should be given only to the propertied class, those who possess properties, right? So these were liberals. Their target was to end the monarchical rule, and they wanted to form their own government, government of the people, right? Then talking about radicals, radicals were in favor of religious tolerance. They wanted to abolish the monarchy. They wanted government to be formed by the consent of the maximum people, with universal franchise including women. So this makes radical different from liberals. Means they wanted that maximum people of a nation should choose their rulers, and voting rights should be given to all, including the women, which were not liked by the liberals. Then we have another group in the society. This group was of conservatives. They were having a very narrow thinking. They opposed the idea of change. They still believed that the age old traditions are very important and we should follow that. They wanted to respect the past. So they never wanted to change the systems. They are against of this. They favored the monarchical rule. The king should rule the nation. So these were these ideas, and there were different groups that were existing at that time. So different ideologies were working at that time in Europe. Now another important thing that happened in Europe was, first of all, industrial revolution started in England first, and slowly, gradually, it spread to the European land also. When industry started, then it leads to the migration of the people from rural areas to urban areas, in urban towns and cities. So there were development of various industrial towns and cities, and people in search of job, they moved from rural to urban areas, right? But on one side, one positive development happened, that industries were growing, urbanization was taking place, but there are many problems that arose, like overcrowding of the cities and towns, cities slums developed, then low wages of the workers, poor working conditions, no medical as well as sanitation facilities. So these problems grew, and the life of the people in the cities and towns became quite difficult. Now, the liberals and the radicals were the groups. They also owned some properties, and they were also the employers. They made their wealth through industrial ventures or trades. They were quite they were having a very broad thinking, and they gave value to the individual efforts, labors and enterprise. They believe that the workforce should be healthy and educated, then only they can work properly and benefits would be achieved. This was their ideology, so they give importance to the working force. On other side, they also wanted to end the monarchical governments established after 1815 in Europe, and they wanted to replace such monarchies with the government formed by the people, formed by the consent of the people. Means people's government should be formed in different corners of Europe. This was their feeling, this was their belief. Now, how, when such changes were taking place in European society, how the socialism came exactly? See, when you have studied about the French Revolution, then you must have studied about the role of philosophers and thinkers. So they were the ones who gave inspiring ideas to the society. So this was when society was undergoing through a change at that time in Europe. Then also the role of such philosophers, such thinkers is very important, because wanted to bring a positive change in the society. So socialists were against of private property, and they considered it as a root of all social ills. Thus, they wanted that the property should be controlled collectively rather than privately owned by the people. Means the basic idea of socialism is the basic difference that we see in the society is on the basis of economy. Means we have people, we categorize the people on the basis of their wealth. Some are very rich, some are of middle class, some are very poor. So there is a gap, wide gap between haves and haves not. Haves, those who have their access to various things, they own property, they have money, they invest their money, or they are capitalists, and they work for their own benefit, whereas their success depends on the another group of who were haves not. They are the actual working force, they are the workers. They work for the rich section. So but they are poor in society. So the difference between rich and poor need to be removed, and society, an ideal society will be a classless society where people will possess uh, same amount of money or same amount of capital. So economically all will be same, equal in society. And this was a basic idea to have a classless society uh, according to the socialist ideology. Now, this idea was promoted by various thinkers of the time. Like here, I would like to talk about Robert Owen. He was an English manufacturer, and he formed a cooperative community in Indiana. Indiana is a place in USA. And this was he wanted to set an example how the community together can work owned collectively. Then we have Louis Blanc. Louis Blanc was a French socialist, and he wanted government to encourage cooperatives and replace the capitalist enterprise. In cooperatives, the properties are not owned by a few, but every person working in cooperative has equal share in benefit. Then Karl Marx, a very prominent name, he wrote a book called Das Kapital, in which he mentioned about society to have common control over means of production. Means all production units should be nationalized. It should not be privately owned. If it is nationalized, then it will work for the entire society. And entire society will have an equal access to these units. So this was the idea given by the Karl Marx. This idea was supported by Friedrich Engels. He supported Marx and suggested to overthrow the capitalist regime, and this can be possible only through a workers' revolution. And through workers' revolution, if the capitalist regime is overthrown, then there should established a dictatorship of proletariat. Now these words are very new. Proletariat means workers or the working class people of Russia. So this was the idea given by Friedrich Engels, that capitalist regime should be brought to an end, and dictatorship of workers should be taken place. This would be a communist society, and he gave this word communist, and the work that he had written was called Communist Manifesto. So such ideas which were favoring the working class, which were believing in removing the differences on the basis of money, on the basis of wealth, and to form a classless society. This became the base of the socialist ideology, and such thinkers gave new terms like socialism and communist. Communist is an extension, or communist is an extension of socialist ideology, right? And these philosophers, these thinkers were the credit goes to them that they have introduced these terms. Now talking about support for socialism, means though these writers, these thinkers, philosophers, they were giving such ideas, but how the people across Europe, they united themselves. So socialists, they from different countries of Europe, they formed an international body called the Second International. The purpose of forming this Second International was to coordinate their efforts and to spread their socialist ideas across the world, right? And this organization started working to help the workers in distress, to fight for their rights, to fight for the facilities they were not getting. So such international organization was formed at that time. Now the result of this, that people started admiring this idea, because a large section of the society were of those who were not having any uh, those who were not having capital in their hands, and they were part of the working force. So they started admiring this, and they started joining such organizations. Now, as a result of this, in England and Germany, workers formed association to fight for better living and working conditions. They started putting their demands in front of or their owners. In Britain, Labour Party was formed, and in France, Socialist Party was formed. This was the development that was taken place in the field of politics. People, workers, they united themselves. They start forming their international organizations, and they wanted to take a stand politically. So many political parties in different nations were formed at that time. So students, till so far we have discussed about a background of how the socialism, this ideology emerged in Europe. And in my next video, I'll be discussing about the Russian Revolution, how the Russian Revolution was inspired by this ideology, how why it took place, and what was its impact on the Russian society. So keep on watching my videos. Please like, share and review, and subscribe this channel. Thank you for watching this video.